Hello, hello, hello. Dr. Alan Harper here, your secure vibe coder. And we are about to have another live secure vibe coding session. We are building this app called User Vibes OS. The purpose of this app is to allow developers to drop a widget into their website and collect vibes from their users throughout the user journey lifecycle. So whether they're hitting the landing page or a survey or a wait list or email list or feature request or bug report, these are all vibes that the users send off, and we're going to make it easy for developers to do that in one spot. Now, there are several companies who do several pieces of this, but nobody's put it all together into one package. And that's what we're going to do here. We aim to be the one stop shop for developers to get user feedback. Speaking of feedback, we've been focusing on what we call the feedback module, and it's comprised of the feature request and the bug reports. Okay. And these two are kind of linked, and we've combined them into a module that we call feedback. Okay. So I'll show you that here in a second. All right. So this app has a front end JavaScript widget that the developers can drop into their app. Our goal is to make that only take about 1 to 3 minutes. Then the developers can sign up for our app on our landing page, and then they get access to the backend dashboard where they can set up an API key, and then we use Convex to keep everything in sync. All right, we love Convex. Now we have two API models. We have a public key, and we have a secret key. On the secret key method, the developer will actually use that secret key to generate a Java Web Token and then send that along with the request in the authorization header. And then we can validate that token on the back end on our server. So all of that is working. Both modes are working right now. And let's show you what the app looks like. Okay. All right, looks like our token expired. Let's go ahead and log back in. All right, if you've joined me tonight, go ahead and drop a hello. Tell me you're here and where you're from. Appreciate it. You can also find out more about me up in the QR code up above or the link down below. Join my free mentoring group, and inside of there, you'll find I'm dropping value every day. You'll also find a secure vibe coding masterclass inside of my free mentoring group, where you will see everything that we're covering here, but in more depth. Okay, so we are secure vibe coders, and that's what we preach here. Now, you can learn vibe coding in many places on the internet, but most of those places, they won't even mention cybersecurity or security. And so that's what we're all about here. We're trying to make the world a better place by securing these apps one app at a time. And so come along, make sure you subscribe, like, and send all those signals to the algorithms so they push this out to more people. All right, so here's what our app looks like. On the back end, we have a dashboard. Okay, and this is just placeholder data right now, but that's all functioning. Okay, and then we have a security dashboard where we can actually see security events that come into our dashboard from our users. So we have several things that we put in place to prevent the site from being hacked or from our users getting hacked. And so whenever there's violations of those security rules, then we log that and we send it back here into the security dashboard. So this is a big feature of ours that the other competitors in this space don't have. Okay, so we've got this, it's working. We'll add filters and everything to this in the future, but it's already working very well. All right, so this is the main feature that we've been developing, is that feedback module. Okay, so the feedback module allows the developer to come in here and create a project. You can have any number of projects, and we'll probably gate that, based on the pricing tier that they come in. I think, maybe for the first version, maybe they'll get 3 boards or maybe just even 1 for free. And then, maybe we'll charge after that. We haven't really decided how to price this yet. We'll come to that. But once you go inside of one of these, you see these are color coded, like this one's green and this one's blue. And that's because we have theming that we've set up over here in the settings. And you can see that we've set a primary color and secondary colors, and that's where we get the green from. All right, so when you come into the project, we have this inbox. Okay, and this inbox collects all of the bug reports. We can see those red bugs right there, and also feature requests by way of the idea symbol here. All right, when you click on one of these, it expands sort of like an email box. Okay, and then in here we can move this idea from this queue to our backlog or to any stage of our Kanban board that we wish. Okay, so here's where we can then track those as a developer. We come into the board, we see that we have a comment pending here, and that's because we have comment moderation turned on over in our settings. Okay, so we turn that on, and so that allows us to moderate our comments. That's a good feature. Again, don't see that in the competitors. So what we're doing is we're stacking features here so that our offer is a compelling offer, better than the competitors, so people come our way. All right, and then below the moderation queue, you see the actual Kanban board. As a developer, if you decide to work these, then you could start to move it to doing and so forth. All right. All right. So a couple things then. What I want to do is I want to add some functionality in here tonight. And so let's go back to our checklist and see what we've got a list of features here. You could think of these as each features that we've implemented into our tool. We've been at this about 25, maybe 30 hours. And I promise you that in those 30 hours, this is the 22nd session. So we've been at this 3 weeks now. We put about an hour and a half in a day. And we're already at about 30 hours. And I can promise you, we've probably about 6 months worth of development in those 30 hours. So this is the value of AI and vibe coding. And what we do is we do it securely here on this channel. Now, all of this is built on top of the Secure Vibe Coding OS. This is an OS or a starter kit that I created. It's out here on GitHub. It's free. You can just search for Secure Vibe Coding OS and you'll find it. If you come across it, drop me a star. Okay, this just been out here a couple weeks now, or actually a month or so, and not many people have found it yet. So drop me a star, help me out there. But this right here is a secure starter, and it's the most secure Next.js starter out there. And the idea is you get all of these security batteries included. Okay, so I added this stuff right here. It actually came with the clerk. And I added this right here, which is the heart of it. And so, essentially what you do here is we have a secure foundation that we're starting with. And that way, we can be reasonably assured that we're getting off on a good foot, right? And then it's our job just not to mess that up. And that's what we cover here on this channel. So once again, if you're new here, drop me a note and tell me, say hello, and tell me where you're from and what you're interested in. I'd appreciate it. Let's get some chat going here. All right, now back to the app and back to the to-do list. Actually, let me close this one. Okay. So yesterday we did a bunch of security testing. All right. We've actually done that for 2 days in a row now. And so I'm reasonably sure that we've closed all of the security vulnerabilities that we had. And again, that's what we do here. And that Secure Vibe Coding OS comes with a number of security skills built in. And I do that by way of Claude Code skills. Okay, so we use Claude Code for our development. And inside of there, what you'll find is a folder. If you install the Secure Vibe Coding OS, you'll find a folder with some agents in it, some security agents that'll do some security scanning. We ran that for the last couple of days. You can go back and look at those videos. And then we also have a number of security skills. There's some 30 skills. Some of these are nested in some of these folders. And so this really upgrades Claude Code, which is already the premier AI model out there. And what we're doing is we're adding some guardrails when it comes to security. And we say, if you're going to do authentication, make sure you do it this way. If you're going to take input from the user, make sure we validate it this way, right? And then whenever we do our security scans and stuff, it also uses those skills to make sure that we're checking for these things. All right, and this, again, what makes us different here is we are focused on secure vibe coding. Again, I don't think you'll find that anywhere else. not to the degree that we are, that's for sure. All right. So I've been in cybersecurity for more than 36 years now, well before they called it cybersecurity. And I've written 7 best selling books on the topic. You can check me out. Just Google me up, and you'll see that I've been in the game for a long time. So now what I'm doing is I'm giving back, I'm helping others, and we're making this world a better place, one app at a time. All right. Now, so we are using Claude Code within anti-gravity, but don't get too wrapped up on the anti-gravity. I switch IDEs from time to time. I was using Windsurf a week or so ago, but it kept crashing on me. So I switched up to anti-gravity, and I like it so far. I'm thinking about going back to Cursor, but I don't pay the fee for Cursor. I always run my stuff through Anthropic Claude Code because I'm on the Max plan. And the reason for that is that I run about $1,400 worth of tokens a month, but it gets capped out, and I only have to pay $200 for that. And so that saves me a lot of money. Okay. And if you're just getting started out, you don't have to do anything near that. You could probably get by with a $50 plan or so. But I do encourage you to use the paid plan because you get what you pay for. And you're going to pay for this either in your time or your money. And believe me, your time is much more valuable than your money. So I would much rather pay a little bit of money and get my time back. And believe me, Claude Code is the best model out there right now. You just have to check around the internet. They'll tell you. Others will tell you the same. All right, so here we go. Back to our to-do list. Enough said. What I want to do is add some changelog functionality. So inside of our app right here, we have feedback or bug reports come into this feedback queue right here. Okay. And then what we do is we have the opportunity to move them to one of the boards down here. Notice we capture screenshots now. That was an idea from one of you guys last night. Said, hey, why don't we have screenshots in there? And within 5 minutes we had it working. Hey, once again, drop me a hello and tell me you're here and where you're from. I'd appreciate it. All right. So what I want to do is, so we capture these feature requests and these bug reports. They come into a queue. And then we have the ability to move them over to one of our working boards. We call this a Kanban board. So we have a doing, testing, done. You can configure that in the settings. You can call the boards whatever you want. You can change the colors, whatever. Okay. And here's what they look like when they're in the board, and we can drag them around as we're working them. All right. We can reorder them, prioritize the work, all of that. Right. So, but whenever it's done, I want the opportunity to move it off the board into, or just, copy it off the board into a change log for our developers, right? Because it makes sense to communicate with the users throughout the process. Let them know, like, hey, this is your change log. These are the recent changes that we have, and we implemented these bug fixes or these feature requests, okay? So what I'm going to do is right off the bat, I'm going to kick off a job with Claude Code, and we're going to do that. So here we go. Okay, currently we have a workflow that allows the feature request and the bug reports to come in to our inbox, and then we have the ability to promote those over to a board. But whenever we've completed from the board and we're over in the completed state, I would like to add the optionality to promote those items into a change log. Okay. And in that change log, I would like the ability to select many items, and I would like the ability to add some comments around that, and then import the heading from the actual bug report or feature request. But I'd also like the ability to update that in the change log if I wish as a developer. So go ahead and implement that. And before we do this, before we do any major change, what we're going to do is we're going to commit our changes. So we have the results of security scanning and the fixes of that. And we also added screenshots to our bug reports. Okay, so I'll commit those to GitHub so that we have a good baseline, a clean baseline that we're working off of. Anytime we do a major update, Just a pro tip for you. Make sure that you have your code checked into GitHub so that you can always revert these changes if you make a mistake and want to go back. All right. Once again, if you're new here or if you just joined us, drop a hello in the chat. Let me know you're here and where you're from. Okay. So we see Claude Code is cooking right now. It built a task list down here. Now we're using Convex for our database. It's a real-time database. Really love Convex. It's much better than Postgres, which I've used before, and Mongo, which I recently used up until I learned about Convex. And it's all the rage right now with coding, particularly with Next.js apps, because it's a TypeScript database, and Next.js is TypeScript. TypeScript is a layer that goes on top of JavaScript, and what it does is it allows you to strongly type or define your inputs and your outputs, and that's better for security. It's also just better for programming. It reduces user errors, and so it's highly recommended that you do your coding in TypeScript. And underneath the hood, it compiles it down to JavaScript. So nothing wrong with JavaScript, but TypeScript is better. I'm going to give it a piece of more guidance here. We already have a change log list in the widget, but I do want the ability to manage that within the features projects as well. All right, let's see what other features we have here on our list, because we can do some things in parallel. Okay, I want the ability to make sure that we're building our npm build and our testing. We haven't tested that recently. I want to make sure that that's still working because we've made some significant changes. But before we do that, what we'll do is we'll knock this one out. It says add tags ability for features. I'm just going to grab that line, and we'll make sure that that's customizable. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to add tags on our feature requests and our bug reports. All right. So what we can do is we can open up another Claude Code instance. I'm just going to open up another terminal here, type Claude. And as long as we're careful that these things aren't stepping on each other, which they shouldn't in this case, because I'm doing, we're changing different areas of the dashboard, then we should be fine. Okay. Okay, so we'd let that cook. And let's come over here and see what we're doing. I must say this is taking a little longer than it normally does. I'm afraid that's because they're getting slammed right now. And the reason why I say I'm afraid of that is because these models, when they get slammed, they start nerfing it. Meaning, like when you're playing Nerf football versus real football, they switch out the real thing and you end up getting junk. And we call it nerfing it. And they've been accused of that, and I think they've been guilty of that. All of the big players do that. So when they get slammed, like on a evening like this, if there's a bunch of you guys out there vibe coding or whatever, then they start nerfing it, and then we suffer because we get more errors and the quality goes down. But anyway, looks like it's doing the TypeScript check, which is the last piece of it. Okay, so let's see what it came up with. Okay, just letting this TypeScript check run to make sure that there's no errors. Let's see how this other one's doing. Oh, looks like it came up with an error. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's much slower tonight. Okay, so here we go. Yep, go ahead and run that command. Claude Code is a perfect gentleman. It'll always, unless you have it in the mode that says dangerously accept, which I don't recommend, it will always ask you, at least the first time before it does a command. And so right now it's asking me if I want to list these things, and I say yes, and don't ask me again for that command. That's a number 2 on the list of options there. All right, hey, who joined me tonight? Where are you guys from? Somebody drop me a hello here. Getting kind of lonely over here, guys. Okay, go back here and check this. Okay, it made some tweaks to the code, and now it's running the TypeScript check again. Okay, that time it passed. All right, so let's go see what it came up with. Okay, so now we've got the change log here. Okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense. I think what we might do is we might move the comments list first. But anyway, we'll save that decision for a moment. All right, so things come into our feedback list. That's our inbox. And then we have the boards here. And then once we get them over here to the done, I wanted it to give me the ability to move things into the change log. Now, here's another take on it. I didn't tell it to do this, but I'm pleasantly surprised that it's got the ability here to add our first entry. So let's just see what it does. Okay, so we can select the completed items. Oh, I like that. We give it a title. We give it a new category. Okay, cool. Okay, and then we get the release notes. Okay, all right. So let's create some that are actually completed so that we can actually see some items in here. Okay. So let's go back to our board, and what we'll do is we'll move this over. We'll move this over. Okay, so then we come over our change log and we create a first entry. Okay, I'm not seeing anything here in the completed items. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, it could be. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, it shows properly that it's in that status, but we're just not seeing them show up. Okay, let's tell Claude Code that. Okay, the change log interface looks nice in the dashboard. However, I'm not seeing the completed list show up in the selector. And I've made sure that I have a couple that are marked as done. And I assume that's what you mean by completed, but please clarify that and check that. And if there's something else I need to know, then let me know that. Okay. Let's see how this other one did on tags. Okay. So here's the plan. Now it's asking, do we want to go ahead and do this? Say yes. Go ahead and do it. Okay. Okay, so dragging an item to a column named done or completed should set the status as completed. Your issue is that the board columns might have different name. Let me check the default board columns. Okay, so it's checking. It's going to probably update some things to make sure that's more obvious. Okay. It looked like it wasn't tracking the word done as far as completed, but now it is. Okay, so now when we come over here to change log, we should see them in here. Okay, I'm not seeing them. It's probably going to have to push those updates to the database. Okay, so let's just check. Here's our convex. I don't see any errors. That's good. Did you push those changes to convex? Okay, it is running. All right, it says that there was nothing to do there. Let's go back. I know what it is now. Let's go ahead and move these items off of done and back into done, because then what it's going to do is mark them. Okay, now there they are. Okay, so what we can do now is we can select these. We can generate the title from these two selected items. Okay. Okay, you don't like that. We can use AI to improve that. But what we can do is we could say, updates. Okay, and okay, yeah, I don't like this yet. So what we'll do now is we'll iterate. We'll tell it to that we have the ability to select. We want the ability to select multiple categories, and we also want the titles of the features or bug reports to go into the release notes so that we can update them. Okay, it's working now. Now I want to change that, create change log modal. I want you to allow for multiple selections of category. And then I also want you to import or insert the name of the feature request or the bug report into the description for me so that I can edit it from there, and put those like in a bulleted list automatically for me. And then I will edit it and update it from there. Okay, let's see how this other one's doing. Okay, it's still putting the tag capability. Okay, good. Good. We'll let that keep cooking as well. Okay, so we got two things that we're working on here. One of them is the update to the change log functionality, and the other one is going to allow us to have tags on the feature requests and the bug reports, so that we can tag these, and then we can sort on those and filter on those down the road. Okay. Okay, guys. Hey, who's joined me tonight? Drop a hello in the chat and let me know where you're from. You can also find out more information about me up in that QR code. You can learn about my free mentoring group, and then you can also find it down in the link below this video. And inside my free mentoring, you'll find me dropping value daily. But then also you'll find my Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass in there. And then you'll also find other ways that you can access me if you need my help in developing your own secure vibe coded app. And I personally believe that each of us have an app in us. Many of us have more than one app in us. And until now, you haven't had a good way to get it out. And now with the advent of AI, we can all write code and we can do it securely, folks. But it takes some extra effort nowadays. AI out of the box will not do it securely. Okay, it's going to have issues. Why? Because the code is trained on bad code. Like AI is trained on vulnerable code out there on the internet, and so it's garbage in, garbage out. So we got to clean that up. Hey, Ellie Greer, good to see you. Okay. All right, so that's still cooking. Let's see what this feature's doing. Yeah, this one's going to. Again, tonight, Claude Code is slow. Compared to the previous nights, it was very, very snappy. I think it's because they're getting thrashed right now. Like they're getting, some people are running some significant workloads through them, and that's going to degrade our service. And I hope they don't really start nerfing it and start giving us bad results, because they're prone to do that. I've seen them do it before. It's frustrating. It's one of the frustrating things about these AI models is that when they get overloaded, they start phoning it in. Like they start returning responses prematurely, and they start like trying to cut their cost. And we pay for that, like, because we end up spending more tokens to fix the junk that comes back. Okay, so those tags are still cooking. All right, so over here. Okay. This looks like it's wrapping up. Again, I know it's wrapping up because the last thing it does is run a TSC check, because I've told it to do that. Okay, all right, so here it says it's done. Let me just scan this real quick. Okay. Sweet. Fix login bug. Okay. All right. Sweet. On second thought, whenever you put those bullets in there, prefix them with either bug fix or new feature, and put a colon, and then list the actual item. That should be a quick fix. See what it's going to do? It's going to start each one of them with bug fix or new feature, and then it's going to prefix it with that. So that way, okay, so that should be done. All right, so let's check that out. Okay. And by the way, look what it's doing over here. It's showing us that we have 2 of them that are ready. That's slick. We didn't ask for that. See, that's a pleasant surprise. I'm telling you, man, Claude Code's good. It's just a little slow tonight. All right, so we're checking these 2 items. And then if we put here, import to description. Okay, and I noticed that we can select multiple of these now, which is good. Okay, and then what we'll do is import to description, and look what it's doing for us. Good. And then what we could do is we could tweak this. Okay, and then what we can do is create that entry, We got to give it a title. Updates 2025 1201. Okay. So now we've got a functioning change log. Now let's see what that looks like on our demo page. So I'll pull up, here's our little demo page here. And if we come over here to change log, okay, now we need to see that in the widget. Okay, that works great, but now I want to see that updated change log in the widget. It also looks, and I was going to ask, I was just about to tell it to make sure we can delete those, but it looks like it did all of that for us. I don't know what this button is. I know what this is. This is edit. Okay, let's cancel that. I don't know what this is. Oh, it publishes it. That's why we didn't see it in our demo. Let's go back and look at our, okay, now I'm still not seeing it. Yeah, but see, whenever we publish that, okay, publish. Okay, now it's changed it to unpublished. Okay, it's in draft state. Okay, so that's the publish button. Okay, I see. Yeah, that should show up then. There it is. Okay, right there before our eyes, it updated the widget. That is cool. That is cool. I like it. I don't like this related items thing here. Let's remove that. Remove that related items section in the change log. I don't know where you got that from. I didn't ask for that. It was just getting creative. All right, guys. All right. I see a question here. Hey, other people have joined us. Drop a hello in the chat here. Let me know you're here and where you're from. Okay, for secure AI application, would you say, let me put it up here for others to see. Would you say secure AI is the foundation, or should we incorporate more secure best practices? I have to catch up on your other videos. Yeah, you know, what I recommend that you do is get into my Secure Vibe Coding OS course. You know about that. And you'll find that inside of my free mentoring group up in the classroom. But inside of there, we cover all of this, right? But also, you know, we've got tons of videos here that we've been doing every night, and every night we're doing something with security. But to answer your question, security is something that we do throughout the development process. We do it when we're planning the app, we plan it securely. We do it when we're implementing it, or let me back up, when we design the app, when we implement it, when we test the app, when we deploy it. Everything that we do has security in mind. Okay, you can't get away from it. And if you do, if you try to skip something, like if you skip it when you're designing it, well, then it gets very expensive to fix it later. Expensive in terms of time, and could be in terms of cost, depending on how big your app is and how many people and APIs and AI is used. But you always want to bake it in. It's always cheaper to bake security in from the start than it is to bolt it on later, always. Okay, so it looks like they removed that related items. Let's see how this other one's doing. Okay, so it's got the tags now. All right, so cool. All right, so we got all that. All right, I'm liking that. So this is our widget now. It's fully functioning. It's got all the tabs. I like that. Let's see. They can issue bug reports here, and then they can put in their feature requests. They can submit an idea. They can vote up or vote down, but they only get to vote once, and that's what we wanted. Other users can come in and vote as well. All right, and then let's see. Be the first to share your idea. Completed. Oh. Okay. Okay, on the widget for the feature request panel, remove the buttons at the top that allow them to search for all planned, completed. On the user end, they don't need to see that. We're only going to show active items that are actually in the queue and or in the boards. Let me think of something real quick. Because my thought is that they already have it over here. And I guess it doesn't hurt to leave it over here. But if they go to one of these other tabs, I think for now, I'll probably just leave that. But what I don't like is this right here, submit first idea. Yeah, no, I guess that's fine. That's all fine. It's a better user experience to have the ability to see if there's nothing in the list that they could go ahead and submit one. But of course, when they submit it, it's going to go into the inbox. It's not going to go into the planned, and that's what's kind of throwing me off. So I think what I'll do is I'll tell it to remove this instead. That's not that's confusing to the user. Okay, on the widget in the feature request panel, if the user selects planned or completed filters at the top, and if there's no items there, we currently say there's nothing here and have a add feature button. I want to remove that. They have a submit issue button at the top always. So we don't need to put that on an empty panel. That's just confusing. Remove that. All right, guys, what else do we got on our list? Oh, let's go see these. Let's check out these new tags. Let's see here. So if we submit an issue now or an item, submit an idea. Okay, I'm not seeing tags here like I thought I would. Maybe the tags are only on the back end in here. Well, let me refresh the page. I have to pick up the new widget. Okay. Just looking here to see if there's anything else. Bug reports. Okay. I don't see any tags there either. Okay, so let's figure out where these tags are at that it put. Let's go over here to inside of here. Yeah, I'm not seeing the tags. Where are they at? Ah, right here. Add tags. Okay. Where are they at? Tags updated. I'm not seeing the tags. I'm not seeing the tags. Where did you put those? Code is there. The tags only show up if the project has tags configured in the settings. The tags are active. Okay, and it's asking, have you created any tags? As I requested in my original request, set default tags that are a tags list that's by default that's appropriate for both feature requests and bug reports. Those should already be on by default in the settings tab. Fix that. Okay, so AI diverted a little bit from my original request. And I hope, again, that's not because we're getting nerfed, by the carriers or by the providers. I know they're getting thrashed tonight because this thing's slower than it normally is. So that tells me like a lot of people are slamming it right now. But that's okay. A little bit of patience. Believe me, like this would take like, days, if not weeks to, for developer to figure this stuff out and do it properly. So, if I have to wait an extra couple minutes, we can do that. All right, so let's see what other features we got here on our list that we can go after. Okay, so we've got the changelog functionality working. Okay, npm build and testing. Okay, I'm gonna just delay that. We're working on the tags. I haven't seen it yet. Okay, here's one that's been bugging me. Add autosave on the settings and toggle changes instead of relying on the update button. Remove the update button. Okay, bingo. Take that. Whoops. And copy that over. Okay. Let's see here what it's telling me. Okay. Already exists, but if it throws in there, tags already exist. Let me. Okay. I'm just reading this. Sorry. It says that there's a tags card here. Would you like to also update the create default tags mutation to throw an error if tags already exist? Well, let's go see what it's got. I'm going to paste this in so I don't lose it, but I'm not going to hit return yet. Okay, let's go back here and look at this. Yeah, over in the settings. Okay, so here's our tags. Yeah, they're not in there. Okay, all right. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, as I suspected, in the settings page, there's a section for tags, but it's empty. I want you to, by default, set a list of appropriate tags for both feature request and bug reports. That should be a separate list. And I want you to go ahead and enable those by default, but then let the user, edit those or add additional ones. Fix that. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this one, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy that other command in and let it start working that. Oh, wrong one. And what I'm getting at here is on the settings page, there is there's an update button that's very annoying to me. I've already made the mistake several times. So I'm going to wait on this because I don't want to step on this other one. But you notice right here where it says save changes and up here it says update. Like I often come in here and flip one of these and then I forget to hit the update. So what I wanted to do is just go ahead. If I make a change in here, I want it to automatically update the page. I don't want to have to remember to hit that update button. Okay. When I leave the focus of one of these fields, then I want it to go ahead and save. And so I'll make it do that. Okay. So look, we've got tags now and we've got default ones. Okay. Okay, these are for big bug fixes only. And these are for feature requests only, but then there's others here that are for all. Okay, all right. I'll buy that. All right. So now what should happen is back in here, when I put in I'm refresh and get a new widget. Okay, if I submit an idea, okay, yeah. So see, I've got the tags in here. And so the user can select these. And by the way, we can add new tags on the back end. So I like that. Okay, cancel that. Okay, good. Same thing with the bug reports, I'm sure. Yep. Okay, bingo, bango. Okay, that works. All right. All right, we're vibe coding, folks. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this autosave functionality in because this has been driving me nuts. The way I want you to do this is if I'm editing a field and I leave that field, or if I change a toggle setting on the settings page, I want it to automatically go ahead and update the database. Okay, I want to remove all the update or save buttons from that settings page. I just want it to be automatic. Okay, that's a much better user experience. Okay. Hey, did I answer your question, Ellie Greer? I think I did. but let me know if I didn't. You guys sure are quiet tonight. There's usually a bunch of comments in here. We've only got one brave person tonight. Will the real humans please stand up? Or do we have all bots out here? Okay. So far, we've had it pretty easy tonight. Like it's slow, but we haven't had any errors or bugs or anything like with our changes. So Claude Code is killing it, man. It has been very impressive over the last week. When they upgraded to Opus 4.5, it was like night and day. Go back and look at last week's, and you'll see us like spinning and like wasting time fixing things. Like we don't have to do that anymore. Claude Code Opus 4.5 is the best model, and it makes it a pleasure to do this again. I was starting to get a little frustrated with Sonnet 4.5. It just wasn't cutting it. What's funny about that is before this version of Opus 4.5, like because of the way the pricing structure was, they forced everybody to Sonnet 4.5, because if you tried to use the old Opus 4.1, it would like burn your tokens up like in one day. Like the whole week's worth of tokens would be gone in a day. And I complained to them about that. And I sent an email. I said, look, I've been a customer since the beginning. You guys are nerfing it. And I told them that. And I said, this is not cool. And they said, yeah, we apologize, but we really do believe that Sonnet 4.5 is the better coding model right now. So we suggest that you use it. And I knew that was a lie, because I had built like an entire app on on Opus before they start playing with it. And start messing with the pricing. But Sonnet just wasn't as good. And I don't care what anybody says, it's not as good as Opus. And now we know that for a fact. Okay, so it removed those update buttons. Now here's how we test that. We go over here to the settings page, and we make a setting change. Let's change the color. It's been green for a bit. Let's change it to like a lime green. Okay. All right, now what should have happened as soon as I go back to my page here, yep, immediate. See that? Okay, I like that. All right, now if I change the title up here and I call that 1, okay, immediate. Okay, all right, change that back. What if I come down here and toggle one of these and I go to comments enabled? Okay. So notice how that saved it. I saw a little check mark over there for a second. That's a visual cue that it saved it. See that? See that little check mark? Okay, that's cool. I don't like this one. Maybe it needed that. Okay, let me think about it. No, it doesn't have it down here. Okay, save security settings. I still see save buttons. See a save changes and save security settings, and a save changes button. Okay, I'm still seeing 2 save buttons on that settings page. Check again. And again, to be honest with you, I can tell like when they're nerfing it, because things like it will omit things. Like you tell it to do something. Like I told it very clearly to remove all save buttons, and there was like 5 of them on the page. It removed 3 of them, and then it comes back and says, "Okay, I'm done." No, you're not done. And then it makes us go check it, and then we see it's not done. So I see this pattern. I've seen this pattern. Like I've been doing this a minute, right? And yeah, that's a sign that they're getting overtaxed right now, like on their APIs. And so unfortunately, I see this each time a new model comes out. About a week later, there's like this surge where everybody's watching all the videos on YouTube and out there, all these vibe coders and stuff, and they're all slamming the new model. And then it starts to nerf, and then it starts to go, And then this happens over about a 2 to 3 week period. And then guess what? They come out with a new model because they come out with like a model about once a month. So I've seen this. I've seen this pattern. That's a little frustrating, but I'm just, like these are first world problems, right? Like, come on, like, we're talking about like, splitting hairs here. It's all night and day, better than me writing this code myself. So, all right, so look, it removed these two buttons. Okay. Well, it's still working on it. Okay, that's a huge improvement to the usability of the site. Let's see if there's anything else out here that we can work on. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. We had it was updating some stuff. And while it's doing that, like we get some bugs over here, but that's okay. That's expected. I think there's one other thing that I noticed about this that I want to change before we move on. But let me go ahead and clean this up. So the tags is working now. The autosave is working. Okay, we still need this NPM testing. I'm going to move that down to next time. Okay, now. Okay, I'm going to let that finish. But let me show you what else I think we need to do here. So we need the ability beneath the board, or maybe above the board would be better. We need the ability that if we click on one of these cards when we're looking at the board, that we can actually see the details, including the comments, right here from within the board. So I'm going to tell it to put that expanded panel right above the board so that we can actually, like, look at the comments, and we can actually, see the screenshots of the bug report, for example. It doesn't make sense to have to keep going back to the feedback panel. I've actually been thinking about that for a couple of days, but now here we go. Okay. Okay, on the board panel, I want the ability that if we click one of the items, not to drag it, but if we just click it once, then what will happen is it will open the details of that above the board so that we can see the comments, any screenshots, make any adjustments to the settings in there of that actual card. This will be a similar preview as we see over on the inbox. In fact, I want to use the same details. I just want to expand that above the board in a compact manner. Okay, I'm gonna let that cook. That'll just take a few minutes probably. So that's vibe coding, folks. So I got this vibe, right? I got this feeling that, like, hey, when I'm in here, if I click on one of these, like, I want to see it expand so that I can actually, like, read it, right? And, like, maybe I want to see, like, who voted on it, or like what the comments were, like, particularly over here. Like, I see one comment, I want to be able to read that. Okay. And so we're going to see that here in a second. Okay, so this removed the save buttons. Let's go check on that. Okay, no more save buttons. That's good. What I don't see are the add buttons for the widget tabs. Oh no, it's because they can't add these. They can just drag and drop them. Okay, but they can add these, and they can reset it to default. Okay, they can add tags, they can delete them, they can make them active, they can edit them. I like it, like it, like it. Okay, here's our security modes and our JWT token tester. We never did test this. I'm gonna put that on the to-do list. Okay. All right, guys. Hey, we're wrapping up here for the day. I just want to see this new feature go. So hang tight while we check that. Let's see here. Back to here. And what we want to do is we want to see it on the board. We want the ability to click this and actually see it expand. All right, so let's see how it's cooking that. Okay, it's still working on it. Let me update the Kanban column interface to accept new props. Okay. Yep, it's cooking. Now, one of the things I'm curious about is how many lines of code do we have in this app? How many lines of code do we have in this app currently? That'll be interesting. So again, we've been at this about 30 hours in about 22 sessions now. The question is, how many lines of code has AI written for us? Okay. Right here's a find command. That's how it's going to do all that. And then it does this word count right here, which is with the lines flag. And that's going to count how many lines of code. Okay. So go ahead and do it. I don't know. What do you guys think? How many lines of code? Anybody want to guess? Put it in the chat. Okay. I want to see this thing do its thing. It took more to update that than I thought it would. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I clicked on an item and now I have details here that I can actually, let me click it again. It goes away as I would expect. Okay, and if I just drag it, no, hold on a second. Now I broke the drag and drop. Oh, I got to grab that. Ah, okay, cool. I got to grab the actual item. Sweet. So if I click anywhere other than the grab, it acts like you would expect it to. Okay, it allows you to come up here and edit the comments, maybe make a reply to the comments. This one over here has comments. Let me click on it. You can see the comments over here. Sweet. I could see the vote. Okay. Any tags that I might have had, I see here. Sweet. Oh, look there. Now I can see the whole list of tags. I can add tags to it. Yeah. Hey, guys. We did something here. That's pretty sweet. That's a huge improvement of functionality. Okay. And again, I'm not seeing this stuff in the competitors. I went out and looked at the competitors. I'm not seeing these little creature features that comfort features that we've done. So look, we are pretty much done for the night. We have one more thing cooking. Okay. I just want to see the word count here. 2,000 so far. Okay, I see. Let's see. Hey, good to see you, by the way. I think it's much more than that. Prepare to be amazed. Okay, here we go. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Okay, come on now. Come on, Cloud Code. Figure out how many lines of code there are. It should be easy for it to figure out. It's like trying different approaches. I thought the first one would have worked. Okay, here we go. The fourth time, the fifth time's the charm. Okay, here we go. All right, look at this. 36,000 lines of code, guys. And we've been at this about 30 hours. So a little over 1,000 lines of code an hour has been written. And we didn't write a single one. Mind blown. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so look at this. The front end has about 33%. The back end with Convex has about 33%. And then we have reusable components. This would be like our little cards and stuff like that. The little feature request cards and stuff like that. So that's the breakdown of our code. Amazing, guys. 36,000 lines of code. What I'm going to say is give me a, put that command in a script for find lines of code, and then add that to the Claude file so that it knows to run that script if I ask that question again. Add that to the Claude code or the Claude MD file so that it knows that what that command or what that script is for if I ask for word count again. Okay, so there's the file, and it should be updating Claude code. Okay, here it goes. It's reading the Claude MD file now. It's going to update it. Put a little command in there. See right here? Okay, so here's like the useful scripts. Run this to get the breakdown of lines of code by directory. Okay, cool. All right, so let me do it again. Okay, now run the lines of code check for me. All right, it knows to run that script now, so it doesn't have to like go off and reinvent all of that. I like it. I like it. It's just like that, guys. All you got to do is know what to ask and just hang out with me long enough and you'll pick up all these clues. All right. Hey, cool. Hey, good to see Essie. Ellie Greer, if you're still out there, great to have you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Same bad channel, same bad time, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's New York time. And we're getting really close. I think what we're going to do is set this thing up and get it on the domain and push it to live so you guys can play with it yourself. All right. We've done all the security testing. Ain't no sense to mess around much longer. Let's let you guys bang on it. All right. So come on back tomorrow and see all of that. Until then, you guys be blessed by the best.